Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So in today's video we will be doing some sweet corn. We'll be putting that away in the freezer and you see us starting to do all the husking and things this morning. So I hope you don't mind taking a little break from our kitchen renovation that we had started. I kind of had to put that on hold because all the garden things were ready and I wanted to get that put away first of all. But stay tuned because we will be back to finish up the kitchen. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you are new here, I will link that video for you below. In our last video, we started part 1 of our kitchen makeover, which is super exciting. So I will be sure to link that one for you below. But in today's video, we are doing some sweet corn this morning and we are getting all the husks and all the hair, getting it cleaned and getting everything ready for putting in the freezer. And we get all of our sweet corn from a local farmer here, just not far from us, so it's super convenient to get it from them. And I thought the sweet corn was really beautiful this year in our area. It was just perfect. The ears were nice and big and filled out, and it put a nice amount of sweet corn into our freezer in the end. So we're just going to work on this here, getting everything ready to go inside and get it done. And then moving into the house, I got 2 big kettles on the stove for boiling. We're going to put the corn in to get it softened up to where we can cut it off of the cobs. But first of all, we're going to wash the corn, get it cleaned up. And to do this, we're going to just wash it from one sink bowl into the other and make sure everything is nice and clean. All the spots are cut out, which there really weren't a lot in the corn today, which was nice. And of course we had some testers here for the kids. They wanted to try some corn after we got it cooked off. It was just perfect for them to eat some. And Lamar is going to do the cooking today for our corn, and then I'm going to be cutting it off and getting it in the fridge. So basically after it is cooked, we'll be putting it into the one sink where it's nice and cold water, and also adding in some ice as needed. And then after it has cooled down, we'll put it into the next container, which is really cold, and there's lots of ice in that container of water to where the corn cools down completely. This is just for safety so that it doesn't spoil on you after you have it all packaged up. And then I'll be over here at the table just cutting off all of the corn from the cobs. I don't like to cut down too far on the cob to where you get kind of that cob taste in the corn, but basically just cutting off the tops of the corn, and then I'll go back with my knife and using the back of the knife just scrape down the cobs to get all of that juice out. Hopefully that makes sense, but you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So over here in the sink we have our first cold water sink filled, and then in the tub is our really ice cold water, and then here in the middle in the drainer is the corn that's ready to be cut off. It's just waiting, kind of draining off some of the water. And then Lamar is just adding ice as needed to keep the corn nice and cold. Right, and here is the next morning. I had put all of our corn into the fridge overnight to get it cooled down really well before I put it in freezer bags. So now we are just bagging everything up, and you can just bag it however much your family will eat, and then making sure all of the air is out of the bags. And then I usually like to flatten my bags. They just stack a little easier in the freezer, but do however works for you. And I also had Chloe opening up the freezer bags for me and kind of folding down the top. That way it kind of keeps the sticky mess inside the bags. And then I'm also putting the filled bags on some baking sheets, and then I'll put these in the freezer until the corn is frozen, and then you can stack them in like your freezer containers, your bins, whatever you have in your freezer to keep everything organized. And here is the corn that we got. It's all ready to put in the freezer and ready for the winter. Alright, and next we are going to be canning some black beans. Now these are just ones that I got in the store, like in the bags. And I washed them first of all, make sure they're nice and clean, and drained them. And then we are going to be putting them into pint jars. And I am doing a half a cup in each jar. Now if you search recipes and things how to can black beans, you'll find all kinds of different ways. Soaking beans, some say to boil them for a while. I just put a half a cup in each jar, filled the jar up to the neck with water, and then also add in some spices if you want to. I just left mine plain, that way I can use it for just different recipes. You know, it's just plain black beans that you can add into recipes later. I will be adding a half teaspoon of salt per jar, but other than that, I just left them just plain like this. Now, I would prefer to can these in wide mouth jars. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of wide mouth jars right now, so I just used what I had, and this worked fine. They're just easier to get out of the jar if you have the bigger wide mouth lid. Once the lids are on, I'm just going to tighten the rings finger tight, and then they're ready to can. Definitely, if you do feel more comfortable like cooking your beans first of all, go ahead and do that. Whatever you feel comfortable with, yeah, do it your way. And then I put them in the pressure canner, and then we're going to put the correct amount of water in. Definitely check your pressure canner for how much water needs to go in. And then just sealing it up tight, making sure it is tightened all the way around. And then while that is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and get my jalapenos started. I also wanted to do some pickled jalapenos. Now, this is a new recipe for me, so I'm going to try it. If you want to try it, I'll leave the recipe that I used down below, but I don't know how these are going to taste yet, so you can just try it out with me if you want to try them as well. Now, these do have to sit for a couple weeks to kind of get the flavor through them all, so I haven't tasted them yet. And I am using my new favorite knife, and this made it super easy for chopping up all of these jalapenos. I just used the knife and I could just cut through them very easily and quickly. Love this knife. I have been using it so much. I will definitely leave the link for you down below in the description box. Alright, and then once my pressure canner has been steaming for 7 minutes, which is what the instructions say for mine, I'm going to put the pressure gauge on for 15 pounds, and then we'll just let that come up to pressure. And then just cutting some more jalapenos while I wait. Once the pressure has come up to 15 pounds, you can just turn down your burner to where it stays there at 15 pounds, and then set your timer for 25 minutes. And then once the 25 minutes is up, just turn the burner off and then just let your canner sit there. Just leave it alone until it cools off all the way down to 0 pounds pressure. While I'm waiting for that to cool down, I'm going to go ahead and just mix my brine for the jalapenos. And this you just heat up and get all the seasonings and everything mixed together. Some vinegar, water. I added some garlic and a few other things. And if you do make this recipe, let me know what you think and what you did differently. I would love to know. We are just adding in all of our jalapenos into our little jars here, and then just trying to pack them in as best we can, getting them up to the neck. So now my pressure canner has cooled off completely, and I can go ahead and loosen the seal and then just take the lid off. I'm just going to go ahead and put them out onto the countertop to let them rest. I'll leave them here for a day or two just to let them seal really well, cool off, and then I can remove the rings of the ones that have sealed. And then next we're going to can our jalapenos, and I'm going to cold pack those for 10 minutes. Then once those are done, we can just get those out and also just let these rest on the countertop for a couple days. And like I said, you're supposed to let these set for like a couple weeks, I think, to really get the flavor throughout. So I can't wait to try these, and yeah, let me know what you think. And I hope you enjoyed today's video of getting some canning, some food preserving done, and I will see you next time. Bye.